welcome back. What are we going to be talking about today? Who doesn't want to save money? Who doesn't want to do things in a frugal way? But I don't like doing things on a cheap or on a frugal way, and it turns out like, oh, you have a pity party because you just want something more tasty or just a little bit nicer. Why do cheap things always taste cheap? Well, we're going to talk about how we can change that up today with our dinners and our lunches. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, so if you're new to my channel, my name is Lynn and welcome to my home. I'm also from the blog resumeofamother.com. Go check that out. Go back and check out my other videos. I like doing things on a frugal basis, but with a touch of class and a lot of encouragement mixed into that. We do things here in our home for a small family, and we try and do things creatively. We try and do things just, a little bit better than it would normally be if you would think through something being frugal. Sometimes frivolous needs to be part of that, just to spice up life a little bit. I do things, everything from the kitchen to DIYs to things in the home. So if that's something you enjoy, I hope you stick around, and I hope you decide to subscribe and come back and visit me once again. So if you watched my video the other night, yes, I still have some of my odds and ends up here. I haven't decided where I'm storing them. But we talked about having a well-balanced stockpile, which would include a variety of types of foods. Canned goods, baked goods, spices, bakery things that, like mixes that you can use, having your freezers full, having your fridge full, having your pantry full. A stockpile includes all of those things. I've been for years using dehydrated foods. I am now getting into freeze-dried foods. And I wanted to show you, I did make, remember the package that I showed you? It looked similar to this. This is the beef one. And I made the cheesy chicken. And I just wanted to show you, it's delicious. I mean, it is like everything rehydrated. I even went in and I picked out some of the mushrooms. I joked about that last night, but I actually picked some of them out. Gave them to my dog who loved them. There's a few in here, but not enough to really, bother me or my son. All three of us tried it. All three of us loved it. So this is going to be extra. I was doing a little meal prep this week. So I have cheesy chicken. And let me just show you another meal I made. Now I took one roast chicken. So if you're a family of 1, 2, 3, or 4, small size family, and you're like, oh, meal prep is just, what do I do? Things are so expensive. Let me challenge you just to get one whole chicken and see some of the things that I did. You need a quick dinner. Get a can of diced tomatoes, a can of water, a can of corn, add some extra chicken left over from that roast chicken that you have, add garlic powder, onion powder, salt and pepper to taste, make some rice however you want to. I made some tomato rice, chop up that chicken, throw it in there, bring it to a boil. I added a little feta cheese and a little green onion, and voila, you have a great dinner. Next thing I made was that freeze-dried cheesy chicken. I want to show you the inside of the package, what it looks like. I took out the oxygen absorber, threw that package into a plate. Then I took 2.5 cups of boiling water, poured it on top, gave it a good mix, let it sit for 10 minutes covered. Then you mix it another 10 minutes, let it sit, and it was absolutely fantastic, delicious. Tasted fresh, tasted homemade. You would never have known that it was either dehydrated or freeze-dried in any way, shape, or form. Highly recommend it. So I took a roast chicken, I cooked it up, and I put it in my crock pot. Let it cook all day, a piece of cake. You've got the broth from there. You can put the bones back in there and make more broth. One whole chicken, we got 7 meals out of it. And we're not talking simplistic meals. I'm talking a really good size meal that, filled our belly. I'm telling you, out of one roast chicken, I made chicken and gravy with peas and carrots. It was so good with biscuits. And that alone was one dinner. It was one lunch for the three of us. And I'm not talking, you know, rationing out portions. There was enough, whatever you wanted to eat, there was enough. And then also to that, I had enough left over. We did dinner, we had lunch, and I have enough left over that either one person could eat like a one good size meal, or what I usually do is I just freeze it and I use it as an emergency. I need a quick meal to, you know, microwave for somebody, or I make soup out of it. Little bits and pieces like that make the best soups. So we'll talk soup one day. We'll talk soup, because I make soup out of anything. You got it. Whatever's in your fridge, I can make soup out of it. And then I have some left over. We're going to make some chicken salad. I have enough left over also to make chicken enchiladas or chicken tacos. I'm not sure which direction, but in the end, out of one roast chicken, I got 7 meals out of it. 7 meals such as this tonight that you just saw, but that will also make a lunch. So really, I guess in a sense, I got 7, I wouldn't say maybe 14, but 7 to 10, 7 to 11 meals, good portions, with a few things left over for soup. So it can be done. So let's talk lunch, okay? I go to work, I have a 9 to 5. Out of the 7 days, and working 5 of those 7, 6 of those 7 nights, I am out this week. So I need some grab and go meals. That's why I made that, I rehydrated the freeze-dried meal, so I can put that in the fridge, it's ready to go. I can make some spaghetti and sauce and stick that in the fridge, just a quick go-to. There's always burgers in our freezer. I like to buy a sleeve of burgers that I can throw in the air fryer, throw some cheese on it, grab a burger, we could eat it in the car on the run if we needed to. But another thing that is great are sandwiches. And my upbringing was we didn't really eat sandwiches very much. When I went to school, it was like if you got school lunch, that was the thing. Like you were cool if you got school lunch. But my parents, money was tight. We couldn't really afford school lunch. So we did sandwiches, and you did bologna and cheese, you did peanut butter and jelly, or you did cheese. That was your choice. And it was on white bread with a light coating of mayonnaise. You got an apple, 2 cookies, and you always bought your milk at school. And pretty boring. And I am a big one on saying to my husband, like, I want a good cup of coffee. Yes, I know Starbucks costs a lot of money, but I want a good cup of coffee. So if I'm going to drink coffee at home, we've tried Perk coffee, we've tried the drip coffee, we've tried the pour over coffee, we've tried the French press coffee. French press, I want to say out of all of those are probably my favorite. And we go back to the Keurig. I know it costs a little bit more, but it's a whole lot less cheaper than going to Starbucks or a fancy coffee, but I want a good cup of coffee. So sometimes you pay a little bit more to have something nice at home, but it's a whole lot less money than if you were to go out. Well, the same when it comes to sandwiches. I don't like a bologna and cheese sandwich going to work. Now, with that being said, what I wouldn't mind is a really nice sandwich when I go to work. So how can we accomplish a really good sandwich instead of doing takeout? Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with takeout. You work hard for your money, however you want to spend it. You know, that's between you and you. But, you know, if you're trying to cut back, save a little money, you want to save up toward getting another car or whatever the case might be, getting things in your home, in your pantry, and in your stockpile that you can create great meals with. Now, number one, I would say, what does a sandwich start with? It starts with something to put it on. You can make a green salad. Let's start with that. You can make a green salad. You can get the large lettuce leaves, and you can roll it up in that. That would be great. You can do something like that. You can do tortilla shells. I know I had some. I don't know what, I might have put them in my freezer. So you'll just have to trust me. I got some hummus and roasted red pepper and hummus tortillas at Aldi. We haven't used them yet. I think I put them in the freezer. You can make, roll things up in that. You can do all that kind of stuff. I just picked up, these were brioche rolls. They're little slider size rolls. So good. I would have this over going to a deli and getting something. Excellent. Pretzel rolls. I picked these up when we were in Amish country. I have had them in the freezer. They were $2.55 for 3 of them. They're quite large. Really, it would be 2 sizes. I probably only ate half. But, you figure it's about a little less than $1 a roll. It's still cheaper than buying a sandwich out. You know, I have people say to me all the time, well, just get cheap bread. Well, you get cheap bread for 95 cents at Aldi or, you know, some of these other places, and it lasts a day or two. It gets dry. It's okay for toast or making croutons or, you know, making a bread pudding or something like that. But if you want to have a nice sandwich, you want some good bread. I highly recommend getting a loaf of bread or some type of bread that you know you're going to eat. You can have for a few days in your pantry and stockpile, and you know you're going to enjoy. So whatever kind of regular bread maybe. And then these also, I got croissant buns. I was on a croissant kick for a while. I was buying croissants and I was making my sandwiches with them, and they were so good. But I saw these croissant buns and I thought, boy, wouldn't that be delicious? Now these things you can put in the freezer and it's fine. So if you're not going to use it, like we're a family of 3 that are at home right now, and we can't eat that much stuff. So I would, you know, sometimes I'll put the bread in the refrigerator to keep it a little bit longer, but then freeze it and just take out a few slices of bread for the next day or whatever you want to do. So that to me is number 1. That's your base of what you need. Then the next thing you want to have is a variety of cold cuts or whatever you choose. I know a lot of people aren't into cold cuts. That's, you know, kind of taboo. We enjoy it. We don't live on it, but we do enjoy it. This I picked up. It was mild Genoa salami and provolone cheese. You saw that in one of my hauls. And this was just a small tray. It was $3.99, I think. And we've been making sandwiches with that on these little brioche rolls. And let me tell you, you do something like this as an alternative to what maybe you're doing during the week. It was just a little like, oh, that's kind of nice. And you can make 2 small rolls. It was great. This was a sweet bologna, as they say it in Amish country. I picked that up out in Pennsylvania. You can fry this up and make like a fried bologna sandwich. You can make a cold bologna sandwich. You can do old-fashioned regular cheese that most of us probably grew up on when we had our cheese sandwiches for school. And you can use something like this, or you can go crazy and pick up some alternative cheeses. I have roast chicken here, and I also have some Swiss cheese. That is also an alternative. I will tell you, this is frozen solid because I used it for 2 days, and then I noticed we had so many leftovers in the refrigerator, nobody was eating them, and I didn't want to waste it, so in the freezer it went. Yes, you can freeze cheese. You want to have a variety of meats and things like that that you can do. The other thing would be condiments. You can just do plain mayonnaise, plain mustard, you know, you got all the basics. You could add a little relish to this. If you have like hot dog relish, put that on there. Add that to your bologna sandwich. It's going to change it up. You can add garlic to this and make a garlic mayonnaise. The other day I took a croissant. I put my ham and I put my cheese on it. And then it was turkey and cheese. That's what I did. Turkey and cheese, and I had 1 slice of bacon left over from breakfast, and I put that on there. Then I had one of these. I get the individual cups of guacamole, and I put guacamole on it. Ooh, let me tell you, next level of delicious. So, you know, you can get guacamole, you can get hummus. So don't cheat yourself out at a chintzy sandwich. Get a good type of bread that you want. Yes, freeze the rest if you're not going to use it right away so you don't waste it. Pick the cold cuts or the types of meats that you would really enjoy. Decide on different condiments. You can buy the basic mustard and mayonnaise and add things to it to spice it up, to make it more flavorful. And another thing I like to do, I like to take the tortillas. I don't know why I prefer it on that. And I will take whipped cream cheese, and I will chop up in that some tomatoes and some cucumbers and use that as a spread, and then roll my meat up with that. Another thing I'll do with cream cheese is I take that and I add olives to it. And y'all know I like my olives because I got my big jar of olives right here, right? So you see that? Yep. You learned I like olives. Well, I'll chop the olives up in the cream cheese, and you spread that. Now listen, if you can't afford a whole lot that week, that cream cheese with olives or tomatoes and cucumbers or whatever you have is delicious. And the way I started doing that is, do you ever make spinach dip with the bread and you dip it, at Christmas? Well, I used to take the leftover of that spinach dip. You got spinach, you got your dehydrated vegetables in it and all your seasonings and all that. Slap that on your bread, add a piece of meat, and you've got a great sandwich. You don't have to go on the cheap with your lunch or your dinner. Listen, if you want to do this for breakfast, you go right ahead. The other things I would recommend is doing some things on the side. I love the baby cucumbers. I slice those up. Get some baby carrots and slice those up. Get the little tomatoes. I love getting the vine ripe tomatoes. To me, they are the most juicy, delicious. I will spend a little bit more for these because I know I will eat it. The seedless, the English cucumbers, these are my favorite. I love these. Sometimes I do like sticks. Sometimes I'll do like chips. You could bring a little dip on the side. You can bring some celery, some fresh broccoli or cauliflower, any of those. Maybe even if you get one of those trays, if you know, sometimes they have them on sale, the tomatoes and the broccoli and the cucumbers and all that. Use that and bundle little bags of that up with your sandwich. Throw a couple cookies on the side if you have a sweet tooth or a piece of candy, and you've got a great go-to lunch. I really want to encourage you that you can do this. Now, one other thing that I have done, which I love, and I don't know if it's a thing anywhere else other than New Jersey. You know, we all eat sloppy joes, the meat sloppy joes with the brown sugar and all. I don't like them because they're too sweet. But in New Jersey, again, I don't know if it's anywhere else, they have a sloppy joe, and it is roast turkey, it is Swiss cheese, and it is coleslaw on the top with Russian dressing. The one that's like a orangey. Oh my, you could, do you see me drooling? Yeah. So you get some bread, and you would want a heartier bread. You don't want something that's going to fall apart. Do a little turkey. You could do roast beef. I've seen it done with that. Put your cheese on it. Put your coleslaw, because it already has the mayonnaise in it, and then do your Russian dressing. Slap the next piece of bread on, cut that in half, eat it, and then you'll say, man, that At Home with Lynn Wilson, she's got it together. That's the best sandwich I ever ate. So we're going to end it here. I just wanted to show you a few things that I made with my leftover chicken. On that note, I am going to make some homemade coleslaw. So if you want to stick around till the end, I'll make some coleslaw. Some of you asked how I make it. I am not a professional coleslaw maker. I've made it one time, and it was delicious. I mean, it was good. I don't even think they have, oh yeah, on the back, it says mayonnaise, sour cream, I did not use sour cream, lemon juice, I did not use lemon juice, sugar, I did not use sugar, dry mustard, and celery seed. Nope, didn't use any of that. So I'm going to show you how I made my coleslaw. It was perfection. And with that, I hope you have a great day. So stick around to the end to see the coleslaw. Otherwise, we'll catch you all on the next video. Okay, I'm going to make this simple. I'm going to do just a little bit because, again, there's only a couple of us in the family. I'm not going to go crazy. You don't have to use the rest of this coleslaw for coleslaw. You can use this in any other meal that you're going to be making for dinner. I start with that. Add a little salt. This is all to taste. I like a little extra pepper. I'm going to put in a little onion powder. Again, this is to taste. A little garlic powder. It's to taste. We're going to add a little mayonnaise. Mix that all up. And if you added too much mayonnaise, you can always add a little extra coleslaw. Not a big deal. If you don't have enough mayonnaise, obviously you just add more mayonnaise. So I will tell you that for me, I'd rather have a little extra mayonnaise because you don't want your coleslaw too dry. If you're going to be adding that to a sandwich, which is the way I like it, I don't really like it as necessarily a side dish, but I do like it on top of a sandwich. Okay, here's what I'm going to add that I don't see anybody else adding. It stinks. Yes, it stinks. Apple cider vinegar. Make sure you do not get the mother in here. Just a splash of that. If you add, when I did it the other day, the mother came flying out. I had to grab her, and if you don't know what the mother is, it is the film, I don't even know the proper name, but it says with mother. You don't want that. It's that little thing that's floating around in here that's giving you all the vitamins that you need. So now we're going to mix this all up. I'm going to do a quick taste, see what I think. Hang on, let me get a little bit on a spoon and give it a try. Let's get this off on the end. I'd say a little more onion powder for my liking. So good. Okay, we're done. We are done. That is how I made my coleslaw. Mayonnaise, salt and pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, obviously fresh coleslaw, cabbage, and apple cider vinegar. Just a splash. Everything's to your taste buds. Take a little sample, see what you think, add whatever else you need. Add this to your sandwich. I'm telling you, you're gonna love me for it. Okay guys, thanks for coming over. We'll see you all on the next video.